Chapter 853, Comparison of Experience in Sophistry. What do I think? If I were to know the answer, why would I be here? I'd have long handed this information to my superiors. Leonard silently mumbled as he deliberated over his words. During this process, he discovered that, although he was standing straight and looking down on Dwayne Dance, the tycoon who was sitting leisurely in the reclining chair held the aura of having the advantage. It was like a high-ranking personage casually listening to his subordinates' reports. This made Leonard feel a little uneasy. He subconsciously surveyed the area and pulled a chair over as he leaned back into it, half out of habit and half as a deliberate action. I believe he, or all of you, are searching for something. Back in Tingen, he infiltrated the Nighthawks to search for something. In Backland, he also infiltrated Channy's Gate to search for that item. His search was fruitless the first time, so he escaped by feigning death by using Nc Zangwill's assault. He still failed to find it the second time. Hence, he didn't take anything and directly left Channy's Gate. While speaking, Leonard used a very certain tone to divulge that he had figured out that J.M. Sparrow was Sherlock Moriarty and also Klein Moretti. He wished to use the effect of pressure to make Dwayne Dance not appear that calm or have any thoughts of resorting to sophistry. Indeed, he went to dig my grave. Klein sighed inwardly as he chuckled. He picked up the glass of red wine and gently swirled it. Do you think that we would consecutively make two rash attempts before having any confirmed intelligence? You should know that such matters can only be done once. Once there's a failure, there's no way it can succeed again. Therefore, who would use an operation to verify one's guess when the target isn't clear? He has tacitly confirmed my explanation. Klein Moretti is J.M. Sparrow, hero bandit Black Emperor, a member of the secret organization who believes in the fool. Leonard tried hard not to frown as he crossed his right leg and said, "So, it's not that nothing was found, but that there was a failure due to other factors." During these two attempts, Tingen City's St. Selena Cathedral and Backland's St. Samuel Cathedral only shared two common items: sealed artifact 2049 and the Antigonus family's notebook. Antigonus family's notebook, that's it. Klein Moretti joined the Nighthawks because of it. Although the process of inference is wrong, the answer is actually correct. Klein chuckled and said, "Our brains aren't there just for show." If his goal was the Antigonus family's notebook, there was no need for him to join the Nighthawks. Before you obtained it, he had plenty of opportunities. And even after you obtained it, he had no lack of opportunities to obtain it. You should understand the situation back then better than I do. Also, since the target was the Antigonus family's notebook, why didn't he take it away? Upon being mocked by Dwayne Dance, Leonard Mitchell realized that the theory he came up with on the spot was filled with logical contradictions. He felt ashamed as he showed some anger. He slowly took a deep breath and said, then why would he infiltrate Channy's Gate using two different methods? And not only didn't he take something away, but he didn't even leave anything behind. He even entered a strange state. Just as Leonard said that, he saw Dwayne Dance with his gray sideburns produce a deep, profound smile. I'm not sure of the reason for the latter matters. Perhaps you should ask the Evernight Goddess. Goddess, what does he mean? Leonard instantly felt alarmed and puzzled. He found it unimaginable as to what had happened behind St. Samuel Cathedral's Channy's Gate. Right on the heels of that, he heard Dwayne Dance say with a deep laugh, "As for your first question, I believe you are mistaken about something. Our organization's members come from different places and join for different reasons, choosing to change their own faith in the process. As for what happened before that, their lives remain their own. Just like me, I had a past and have a present as well. The reason why I came here is because of the last name I gave myself. Dance, the return of the Count. He joined the secret organization that worships the fool for revenge and came to Backland." Leonard nodded in thought. Klein paused for a few seconds as he casually sipped the red wine and wore a smile. He continued, "Similarly, he, who was resurrected because of the Antigonus family's notebook's curse, does it for vengeance as well." Klein had deliberately mentioned his present last name, Dance, and mentioned revenge. It was to preemptively distinguish himself from J.M. Sparrow and Klein Moretti. It was to prevent Leonard from later finding similar objectives between the two and begin making a deeper connection from the similarities. By personally mentioning it, it framed the listener's thought processes and made them subconsciously follow the logic of the content, thus treating Dwayne Dance and Klein Moretti as two completely different people. The only similarity was their thoughts of revenge. And in this world, there weren't only two Avengers. Leonard lowered his crossed right leg unknowingly as he leaned forward. Vengeance. Who does he wish to seek revenge on? After asking the question, the elegant and handsome middle-aged gentleman curled the corners of his lips. Lanevis and In Si Zangwill. In Si Zangwill, Leonard blurted out as he couldn't help but have his expression repeatedly change. Finally, he fell silent. His green eyes looked ahead unfocused, his thoughts a mystery. Phew. After a long silence, Leonard exhaled and released his originally clenched hands. He asked with his voice a little hoarse, Lanevis was really killed by him. Of course, Klein secretly sighed as he replied calmly. Leonard's mouth gaped open as though he wished to say something, but he didn't. He tightly pursed his lips. Realizing that his goals had been met, he immediately changed topics and chuckled. If you have a similar goal or require help, you can also chant his honorific name. Perhaps you will receive a response. That secret existence, the fool. Leonard imagined that Dwayne Dance was habitually proselytizing and attempting to develop the secret organization. Therefore, he didn't think further and replied with silence. Klein then laughed. By the way, help me pass a message to Palace Zorost. One of our organization's members encountered blasphemer Ammon in the forsaken land of the gods. This piece of information contained massive amounts of information, so much that Leonard was temporarily at a loss for a response. His mind kept reverberating with the relevant information. The forsaken land of the gods. The forsaken land of the gods that even the 7 churches are unable to find. Their secret organization actually has members who can enter the forsaken land of the gods. Blasphemer Ammon? Old man told me that he's hiding from a high-sequence beyonder with the last name Ammon. He was heavily injured by Ammon and had no choice but to parasitize me. Dwayne Dance's tone and attitude really is like an undying monster who lived from the 4th epoch. He's also at the same or a similar level as Old Man. In front of him, I really don't feel any sense of superiority. I even feel like I'm lacking confidence. As his thoughts ran through his head, Leonard forced himself to focus. I'll pass on the message to him. Based on the circumstances after Leonard enters the dreams of others, it can be determined that the grandpa doesn't completely control his senses. Otherwise, he would definitely have an abnormal reaction when he hears the name Blasphemer Ammon. Previously, Will Ossipton's words also corroborates this point. Only when my dear poet encounters true danger would the grandpa sense it and take action. Very good. He isn't a full parasite. As Klein interpreted the unspoken information, he smiled. You may leave, you can also relax. My goal isn't the Church of Evernight. My coming goals, not the ones of the past. Klein silently added inwardly. Leonard had already received enough information, thus he didn't dare overstay his welcome. He got up and bowed. Then he left Dwayne Dance's dream. In a room on the back streets of St. Samuel Cathedral, Leonard woke up and heard the aged voice from the parasite in him echo in his mind. What did he say? Leonard deliberated over his words and said, he directly admitted to being a member of that secret organization that believes in the fool. Likewise for Klein Moretti, whose alias is J.M. Sparrow. Their goal is for vengeance, their own vengeance. Palace Zorost fell silent for a second before saying, did he say how Klein Moretti could be resurrected, or how did he fake his death to such an extent? Leonard recalled and said, the explanation he gave was a curse from the Antigonus family's notebook. Curse? At this point, Leonard discovered that Dwayne Dance's choice of words was rather strange. He had described the power of resurrecting the dead as a curse. Palace Zorost didn't seem to have any questions about that. After a few seconds of silence, he said, what else did he say? Leonard didn't hide it from him and said frankly. He mentioned Blasphemer Ammon, saying that a member of their organization met him in the forsaken land of the gods. "Old man, is that the Ammon you mentioned?" The aged voice replied after a while. "Probably." He paused for a moment before saying, "I believe that Dwayne Dance, no, the fool that's backing him, might be some old friend of mine. Old man believes that he's at a higher level than Dwayne Dance, or even higher. He's a grounded angel." Leonard thought and asked, "Which old friend?" Palazzorost didn't answer as he asked, "Are you going to find an opportunity to reveal the situation about Dwayne Dance and Klein Moretti?" Leonard suddenly fell silent and only heavily said more than 10 seconds later, "Not for now. Perhaps he and I and them have the chance of working together." And the church didn't suffer any material loss this time. The parasite inside him didn't say a word, as though he had fallen asleep. Leonard slowly looked up and read the information in front of him. His eyes turned dark as he muttered, "He's overtaken me by leaps and bounds."